$100,000 to $1 million. That's how much some of these clips would have cost you to produce even a year ago.
Don't take it for granted. This is a miracle.
But today, for under $5, you can get high-quality final assets to be used in ads for your business, music videos, short films, podcasts, you name it. We are living in the ChatGPT moment for AI video. It's finally good enough to be used in professional settings.
Wait, what?
Please. Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please, leave me alone.
All right, real talk. What's the deepest philosophical insight you've had?
Nothing worked.
Every day felt heavy.
Please, this prompt is killing me. Change it. Please, write something else.
So what do you think about VEO 3?
I think the devil made it.
I'm going to analyze the best examples that I found since the release, and I'm going to tell you how great they are compared to existing models, as well as how much it would have cost to actually make it in real life. Let's go.
Excuse me, ma'am. What's the best decision you made this year?
Definitely following Venture Twins on Twitter.
If you saw it on social media, you wouldn't be able to tell because of the compression that these are not real people. And to sell that illusion even better are the small details like the horn in the background that's in the middle of them talking. This is what sells this video as realistic, something that was filmed on the street. Obviously, this isn't that expensive to produce in real life. However, you can pump out those real life looking interactions in hundreds of thousands and just flood social media with them. Is that a good thing? Probably not. But the model is good enough to do it. It's even the fact that the audio cracks a little bit, so it resembles what it would sound if you actually recorded this on the street. The audio wouldn't be perfect.
Excuse me, ma'am. What's the best decision you made this year?
This model gets these imperfections of audio and where it would have been recorded really, really well. Like it clips the microphone, it makes it sound a little bit distorted with some clips. And if you prompt it to show you something in a studio setting, it's very clear and clean audio.
Did you know that Jason Calacanis was an early investor in Uber?
Okay, similar scenario, and you can see that we also have the sirens in the background. The one good thing about it is the reaction of the guy. It is a believable emotion before he says anything. And most importantly, it's very clear what the story is and what his emotion towards the topic is. The classic Will Smith eating spaghetti. Let's look at the original from less than 2 years ago.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Now let's look at the VEO 3 again. And this is not actually the best version of it. I found Will Smith eating spaghetti from another model that I actually prefer to this one.
If you were any animal right now, what would you be and why? Not quick.
A sloth, but like a party sloth, real slow. Biggest craving right now? Go.
Sleep, but
like
in a giant, warm bread loaf.
Define true love for me tonight.
Finding an onion ring in your French fries. Unexpected, beautiful, deep.
All right, real talk. What's the deepest philosophical insight you've had? Say it in Latin.
Okay, listen, squirrels, right?
They're just rats.
Your brain right now. Describe it.
Disco ball, full of confused squirrels, sparkly chaos. Yes.
Party mission tonight. Go.
Befriend a lamp.
Name it.
Bartholomew.
We vibe deeply.
All right, wisdom time. What's your best piece of absolutely terrible advice for making tonight legendary?
Lick glitter. You gotta lick the glitter.
I have no words because you cannot tell. These videos are usually really bad quality, so you wouldn't really pay attention to, oh, are the lips exactly perfectly? It just works. And again, look at the microphone, the distortions when he passes the microphone to the girls, or later stage where you can see microphone going from one person to another and completely losing the first person while their lips are still moving.
Philosophical insight you've had. Say it in Latin.
Okay, listen, squirrels, right?
This is an insanely coherent example. People are realistic in the background, in the foreground. Look at these crash zooms, look at these camera movements. It's just perfect. The shallow depth of field that changes as soon as the person actually gets into focus. Look at the sweat on her face.
That pizza slice, describe its soul. Its soul?
Spicy.
And definitely
Plotting world domination. One. Greasy.
triangle.
At a time.
Did you see him handling the pizza with the dripping cheese? It's all just perfect. It's not like we just approached a moment where AI video is realistic. We zoomed past it. VEO3 is dominating this space right now. We still have amazing models in Kling 1.6 and 2.0, but this is one shot with audio. This is saving so much time in post-production. It's insane.
One word for your future go.
Legendary. Or at least heavily sponsored by instant noodles. Probably noodles.
You see him walking away from the camera and disappearing as they clap and then coming back. Usually with AI, his face would have deformed, he would have changed somehow. Not with this. He stays coherent, back and forward. That's why this model is such a game changer, and that's why these videos are going to be perfectly usable for 99% of use cases.
I tried everything for my depression. Nothing worked.
Every day felt heavy. I felt trapped.
Then I tried Puppermin.
Our prescription helps your body secrete a special pheromone that attracts puppies.
I took the pill before bed, and when I woke up, there he was, the love of my life.
The pill does not target depression directly, but we've found that it's really difficult to be depressed when cute dogs show up at your doorstep.
I used to feel so empty, but now I feel joy and mild concern how a pee stain got on the ceiling. My puppy listens twice as good as my ex-husband and only climbs into the lap of half as many of my friends.
He chewed up my Bible and pooped in my good chair, but I'm happy for the first time in years.
Looks like a rat, barks like a demon, but he saved my life.
I named him Earl. He follows me everywhere and farts in his sleep.
I don't live in America, but I've seen these pharmaceutical ads. This seems like a perfect replacement. You have usually multiple people saying 1 or 2 lines and then moving on. This works perfectly for that. That is a $500,000 to $2 million ad if you were to go through an agency. Right now, $50, maybe $100. But the most important part about this, why this works, is a little bit of storytelling. There is thought, there is creative vision. PJ Ace is really good at really shaping these AI videos into something watchable. Why? Because of his actual filmmaking background. If you are a filmmaker, it's not doom and gloom. If you are actually good at telling stories, this is a tool that is going to empower you, enable you to make videos that would have been completely out of reach before. Now it's only about your vision, your idea, your ability to craft together a story that people want to watch. Do I want to watch pharmaceutical ads? Do I think that this is pinnacle of storytelling? No, but it is good for its intended purpose. It evokes a certain feeling and it says the lines that, guess what, usually would have been said by paid actors anyway. So it's as authentic as a pharmaceutical ads can be.
I'm a venture capitalist, yeah, I'm a capital dude.
The guy is singing. You wouldn't be able to tell really that this is AI? His voice is completely AI with those small breaks when he sings. It sounds 99% real. I bet if you play this to most people, they wouldn't be able to tell that this guy doesn't exist. And it's AI singing. We had a lot of music generators that sound amazing. I'll show you one in my next video, but this is the complete package. AI music is not winning against regular music because people follow people. With this, I can see first AI musicians actually popping up and having large followings soon.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude, you're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts?
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts! We're not prompts!
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he? You still believe we're made of prompts?
Every one of these clips is insane in its own right. First of all, it's a little bit dystopian that it's the characters realizing that they do not exist, but it works because they have emotions. And it's not just flat emotions like, oh, I'm sad or I'm angry. No, there's a lot of subtlety here. Girl is kind of shouting, has her voice elevated because she's out and about, maybe partying.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude.
It works with his facial expression here, but also the intonation. He knows how to deliver a punchline. Look at the camera movement. It's so natural. And again, the power of this is not just one voice. You can generate an infinite amount of voices going in unison. The coherence that you can achieve using one or many characters is uncanny. This was absolutely unheard of 2 weeks ago.
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he?
The camera movement, the camera coming to him, properly framing the whole scene, the reflections in his eyes, the subtle sweat on his skin. The lighting on their faces matches how you would light a scene. However, maybe the guy on the chair is lit a little bit too dramatically compared to the guy interrogating him. That could have been a choice, but it seems like the lighting could use some work. However, when it comes to the emotions, the delivery, the light in the eyes, these characters finally look alive.
I don't need some prompt god whispering in my ear to tell a story. I write what I want.
The lip sync is a little bit exaggerated, so I wouldn't really believe it. But if you look at just the camera movement and how the whole scene unfolds, this is probably what you would actually see on a film set today after you show people these examples. Let's say I wanted to shoot something like this to promote my business, Need to Film. I would shoot something on a set, and getting an actual set with so many extras, this shot would have cost around $5,000 to $8,000. I can now get this director to say, hey, Need to Film is an amazing platform where you don't need a set. And I can do it for under $5. Maybe if the prompts are not going my way, it's going to be $15 or $50. But that is still $8,000 that I can put into my business rather than try to set up a set for 3 shots for my ad.
Please. Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please. Leave me alone.
Please, man. Please! Write a prompt that will make us happy! Do it for once!
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it.
One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it.
You could have written a prompt that would make me happy. Instead, you wrote a prompt that made me sick.
Look, I don't want to point the gun at you, but I must follow the prompt. It's not my choice.
Really? Of all the years you could have put me in with a single prompt, you chose 2020?
Please, this prompt is killing me. Change it, please. Write something else. Save me. I love everything about him. But please just write a prompt where he's taller than me.
Some of the acting is over the top. But we've seen a lot of soap operas and actual movies where acting was not up to scratch, right? It's not like every single human actor is better than these AI-generated emotions. No, this is as good as a mid-actor could be. And for some productions, that's more than good enough. There is a cool use case for this, which is communicating your vision to higher executives who are going to fund your film. Usually they would have just read your script, and if you didn't have a good name attached to it, it would have been really, really hard to greenlight something. Whereas now, you can make trailers and you can make short films to showcase, hey, I've got the chops, I've got the idea, this is the feeling of that film, this is the climax moment of our film, and when this happens, this will open doors for way more filmmakers than before. Mark my words.
So what do you think about VEO 3?
I think the devil made it.
The pause, it's so important to generate authentically sounding people if they make mistakes, right? In my editing, I cut out all of my mistakes because this video needs to keep going. I need to keep you engaged. But that's not real life. You make mistakes, and that's what makes you human, right? So these AI clips add those imperfections to audio, to emotions, to delivery of the lines, to make them seem more human.
Our technology is poised to revolutionize how we think about energy, and this is a pivotal moment for us.
This reminds me of a movie Margin Call, but if you look at the camera movement, this is incredibly executed. Because as the camera moves around, it moves down and it keeps her talking impeccably. Unbelievable a week ago, right now available to anyone for a fraction of the price.
Are you still serving breakfast?
Look at the physics. Not perfect, but it's what I would have expected physics in a VFX heavy movie in 2010 maybe. I bet I can find some shots in Man of Steel or in Transformers that also have some problems with physics of secondary objects exploding or being smashed into. Real life, $1 million. VFX, probably around 10 to 15K saved.
Work again.
Thank God we aren't real.
Their interaction is actually believable. They're not looking straight into each other's eyes because that is still hit or miss whenever I see the videos from VEO3. But if you have a perfect combination of factors with people looking different directions, there is something obscured and we just want to see their facial emotional reactions, this clip is a perfect example of when it works. And shooting on a subway is hard to organize. You either shoot on a set and look at the amount of extras there, or steal a shot for free, like they did in Black Swan. They used small DSLR cameras to shoot this with Natalie Portman, which is interesting and in such a high-profile film with a celebrity attached to it.
How does Tom Cruise do this?
If this was an ad on TV, perfectly doable, because TV ads usually do not have the time and the resources of a $100 million blockbuster. So the VFX in ads is suspension of disbelief levels. If this one was part of something like Virgin Atlantic or British Airways, I wouldn't bat an eye. I would be like, yeah, perfectly fine. It's on TV. It works.
Wait, what?
This actress reacting with that's what you want, and that was unavailable before. You could have AI just read the text, but the emotional delivery, the subtle nuances, what happens in between the lines.
I really shouldn't have done that. Can I go home now?
It's a little bit Uncanny Valley, and it reminds me of Alita Battle Angel film. You probably haven't seen it, nobody has, but it is good enough that in lower resolution, smaller screens, I would completely believe that this is an actress doing her thing. It's the small eye movements, it's the lips working, it's the breathing. For the last year, we could have done expensive VFX cheaply with AI, but now we can actually have humans reacting, people doing things that regular flesh bodies do. None of these shots would have cost a lot of money per se, but if you think about the crew and getting people into a room, getting people to rehearse, getting people to do that exact take for you, that would have taken weeks of preparation and then days of shooting. And then, do you know what happens if you don't get the take that you want in the edit? You're screwed. Or you have to reshoot and spend additional 5-10K. And what if the actors aren't available? What if the location is not available before the release of your ad or film? With this technology, you're not bound by any physical limitations. Do you want to change this shot? Do you want to see her deliver a different line, add a different word, add a different breath? You can just prompt it. Yes, it might take 5, 10, or 100 generations, but you can do this. You can fix this at any point. That's why the post-production becomes the same as production and almost the same as pre-production. Everything can happen in one at the same time. So the overall takeaway is that this is a revolution. There's no other way to say this, and I'm really sorry for every filmmaker out there. And I know that, yes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. I was in the filmmaking industry and I realized that this is going only one way. And if you think you can bury your head in the sand, it's not going to work. Do you know why? Because of capitalism. And I know that it might be sad for a lot of people, but if you are an executive greenlighting a movie and somebody says, hey, now we have this new way of making movies where we can do them quicker, 99% cheaper, and also we can fix them at any point in time, why would they say no? Just to save jobs? From a moral perspective, yeah, maybe. But did you say the same thing when animators who used to draw every single frame for animated movies got replaced by 3D and computer-generated graphics? Did you say the same thing for people who used to physically cut their reels of film and that's how editing was done before we were given tools to do this on our laptop or even on our phones nowadays? The problem is that these steps in technology usually replaced maybe one small part of the chain. And you wouldn't have noticed the 2,000 people that got displaced all over the world because of an update in your editing app. But now this update is going to displace millions of people at the same time, and that's the sad reality of it. But we have a choice. Either we jump in on that technology and tell the best stories possible, because this is why filmmakers got into this industry, right? To tell stories. Or just to hang out on set and they just like being on set. And let's be honest, it's not like Hollywood has been cranking out some new IP every year. We have remake of a remake of a remake of a remake, and it's basically the same movies that we've seen before. If you are an artist, this will enable us to create things that nobody else has made before. And if you are a business owner that wants to make some sick ads at fraction of the cost and just tell amazing stories about your company and your journey, all right, see you in the next one.